So as you can see, I've worked a bit more on the overall textures of the head, just focusing on the head really. The scarf, the body and the snake, I could paint more textures onto those, but with my particular workflow I'm quite happy to export the displacement map, the bump map and cavity map, etc. from ZBrush, but then work on the textures further in Photoshop. And you can see I've just enhanced the cuts a little bit more, darkened the eyes, made his skin a bit more green. The eyes themselves, I'm not sure yet whether to go black or white, but again I can play around with that later on. The eyes and the stitches don't have any UVs actually, because I'm just going to basically render them using a basic shader, and then I can tweak them and adjust them in Photoshop. But there, we're at a stage now where we can start to think, right, we've painted, we've tweaked, we've sculpted, so now we just want to get all this information out of here, back into Maya, and then we can connect all the maps up, add some lighting into the scene, and get rendering. So what do we do now? Well, it's quite easy really. All we need to do is go to Z plugin, and down here we have multi-map exporter. I just close these up, and basically what this will do, this will go through your models and your subtools if you want to. Like down here we can export them for visible subtools too, although for this model I know that the head, the scarf and the body all use the same map, so we may have to hide the eyes and the stitches and the snake, because the snake's on a different map and the eyes and the stitches don't have UVs, or they might have UVs which are not ideal, so we'd need to hide those. But yeah, basically we'd hide the snake and the eyes and the stitches, enable subtools, so then it would bake the head, the scarf and the jumper, and merge all the maps together, so that would just combine all those for you into one nice tidy map. And depending on what you want to export, you just highlight them here. So we could have ambient occlusion, cavity map, even export the meshes, normal, vector, displacement, and then it's just a case of coming down here and just playing around with all the options. So mesh export, we could not, rather than export it from the very first division, export it from division 2. Now I'm going to do this because it will help to, because we've got the stitches on the head, it will help to sort of line those up with the holes properly so that the UVs don't sort of shift when we take it into Maya. But that's basically it. You set all your options in here, you hide what you don't want to export for this particular subtool. Like I say, if they're sharing the same texture page, just hide them. And then it's just a case of going in, tweaking the settings and exporting. Click create all maps, that you can specify where they'll be exported to, and then they're exported, and it's as easy as that really. So then everything will be chucked out of ZBrush onto your hard drive, and then you can bring them all into Maya and start piping them all together into your shaders. So we're pretty much done with ZBrush here. Now what I'm going to do in the next video is, I'm not going to get too bogged down in, setting up all the complicated shaders. What I will do though is, we'll get the models into Maya and we'll set up the displacement maps, just so you can see that workflow and just see what's involved in that. And then from there on, I'll leave you to play around with all the other shaders yourself. So for now, just play around with this guy a little bit more, do some more painting or sculpting. When you're ready, export all your maps, and then we'll see you in the next video.